Hey, good afternoon, guys. I am in a very cool place here at Woodford Reserve Distillery. This is the warehouse where we wish it was smell-o-vision, because the smell of bourbon is everywhere. We are surrounded. This lady wishes it was smell-o-vision too. Linda Rufinak is with us, and this is like the whiskey chick. I want your title, the whiskey chick.
It's a fun title to have. We've had a good time since I started it a few years ago.
Tell us what a whiskey chick is, because you've started this fabulous group, because you could either be a whiskey chick or you can be part of the Bourbon Brotherhood, right?
Yeah, I started it a few years ago in 2014, and it was all about meeting other women that had nothing to do with my work, my spouse, or my kids. And what better way to do that than over a glass of bourbon? Right. And the thing that I've discovered the last 3 years is the ability to make bourbon very approachable for folks. It can be intimidating if you've never really had it before. So we try to create events and experiences that make it something that's interesting for the novice, something for the enthusiast, and even we have things for the connoisseurs as well.
I was going to say, a lot of women drink wine. Some of us can't do wine, but we like bourbon. And a lot of folks, you're really educating women and men on bourbon.
Yeah, our tagline is Libation Liberators, Whiskey Educators, and Friendship Facilitators. And all of that, and at every one of our events, we try to make sure that we encompass every one of those components. So we want to make sure that you make the whiskey or the bourbon very approachable. We always make sure we have some kind of cocktail for those that are maybe new to bourbon, because that step into bourbon can be really intimidating, especially if you're a red wine or a wine drinker of any kind.
Right.
And if you can get into bourbon and you can discover it, you'll just realize that there's so much complexity, just like there is in red wines and white wines. And I always tell people, you didn't start out drinking a heavy Zinfandel when you started drinking wine. You probably started with a little Boone's Farm, maybe a little Tickle Pink.
Strawberry Hill.
A little Strawberry Hill, exactly. So maybe your first taste of bourbon shouldn't be a straight shot of bourbon. So let's figure out how we acclimate your palate and make it really approachable for you.
This is a neat thing you're doing. And you guys are doing bourbon mixers. And you're trying to get people from Lexington and Louisville to kind of all come together, and surrounding areas, obviously. Absolutely. Tell us about the mixer this weekend.
So the mixer is going to be this Saturday, August 19th. It's at the Henry Clay in downtown Louisville. We actually are really excited because we have been able to negotiate a deal with the hotel, the Hilton Garden Inn, right next door. You call to mention you're with the bourbon mixer and get a great rate. But we have 20 plus distilleries coming out and going to be sampling. Each one of them is going to create a specialty cocktail. Plus they're going to be providing samples of what some of the best that they have to offer. Just like the folks here at Brown-Forman are going to be sharing everything that they have from 4 different varieties of Woodford Reserve, 3 different types of Woodford Reserve, 4 different types of Old Forester. They got Cooper's Craft. We're going to have silent auction items. They're going to be completely off the hook. Just amazing things.
I am excited to learn more about this, and I'm also excited about this cocktail we're whipping up, coming up at 4:50. Maybe you don't want to go for straight bourbon right out of the gate. You don't have to. As Linda was mentioning, there's a special cocktail they're doing for the bourbon mixer happening this weekend. We'll have more on that coming up. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about, hanging out with the whiskey chick. I like this girl. Back to you guys.